Welcome back, everybody, to another shocking episode of Lockdown 23 in 1. That's right, today I'll be breaking down a lineup of clips coming from jail and prison. Not to mention I'll chime in with a couple personal situations that I had in prison as well. So let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new to the channel and enjoy all things lockup and crime related, then this is absolutely where you need to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my beautifully assorted playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today. Alright, first up, it's actually not jail or prison, but before you get to those places, it starts off on the streets with the law enforcement, right? And this guy, if you were to ask me, he's as good as grass, man. It doesn't matter if it was a speeding ticket or not, he's going to prison with an officer standing like this.
But he's cooked. Look at his stance and his hat. Perfect angle. You know. But he's cooked. Look at his stance and his hat. Perfect angle.
Look at that there. That's like a sprint position to prison. It's almost as though he's about to drag race him. Now next up, if you do enough time in jail or prison, you're definitely going to run into an inmate like this. Many people call him state struck. It means that they treat all the state stuff that's given to them, down to the very concrete in their own cell. They will sit there and clean it and buff it like it's their own Lamborghini. Other guys know they ain't gonna be living in that cell for too long, man, unless, they got like 20 years. Then eventually they'll probably become state struck as well.
Completely wash these walls down at least 3 times a day. I also wash the floor about 3 times a day. I keep the floor clean enough to where I can actually take my socks off.
These type of inmates are damn near impossible to live with. I mean, anybody washing the walls of this cell, at least, at bare minimal, 3 times a day? If you're to ask me, coming from an ex-con, this guy's a maniac. Why do you need to wash the walls 3 times a day? At bare minimal. That means he's probably doing it 6 on a good day. Now, scrubbing the floor so you can walk with socks on, I mean, yeah, plenty of people did. I used to watch guys buffing their cell floors with a real buffer. They would wax and buff desks, lighter cases, I mean, you name it. But this guy right here is beyond eccentric, if that's the right word. He stayed strong.
I also wash the floor about 3 times a day. I keep the floor clean enough to where I can actually take my socks off and walk around without my feet getting dirty.
Hey, Bobby, where's all the disinfectant at? 222's got the whole bottle again. He's gotta go, man. We're removing him today.
Near Oakland, California, Santa Rita Jail hits you with this damp, heavy smell the moment you walk in, like a pile of wet clothes shoved in a corner and left there forever. A young guy named DeAndre Rucker grabbed the most basic supplies, socks and bar soap, and invented a DIY jail air freshener. He'd crush the soap into powder, pack it into a sock, give it a shake, and boom, the whole cell smelled cleaner than the hallway outside.
See, we used to do something very similar to this. I mean, yeah, you could crush the soap. It's a little bit better to breathe when you get to beating it around, but you could throw baby powder in there as well. And we were in the dungeon when we figured this out. I told this story a few times, but we used to take that sock of baby powder and beat the fire thing. So they think it's like a smoke fire, right? And these big turbine air jets in the ceiling open up and let in all this fresh air from the streets. We lay it down real quick because guess who's going to be coming into the cell block? The fire department, man. They get so mad every time. But yeah, this is a good trick here to get a good smell going around.
Pack it into a sock, give it a shake, and boom, the whole cell smelled cleaner than the hallway outside. Some guys even stuck the soap socks on the vents, so the airflow would blast the scent across the entire tier.
Very good idea. Me personally, when we got to the penitentiary, right, we would make wicks with the toilet paper. Roll it up tight and thin until it's like 7, 8 feet long. A long little wick. Then you go find one of your Muslim cats or something, right? Get some of his prayer oil. Buy a little bit off him, or maybe he's a close friend. He lets you get a little bit. Either way, you're going to dump that whole damn wick into the prayer oil. Then you'll light it, hang it out a window or from a vent. Then let that puppy burn sweet smells all day. Gotta be careful though. You could get hemmed up real quick. You're not supposed to be lighting anything contraband-wise on fire, So this is a much safer approach, but definitely not as exciting.
But one inmate didn't rely on hacks at all. He relied on pure, hardcore cleanliness.
Elbow
Dennis Jordan
grease.
scrubbed his walls 3 times a day, mopped the floor 3 times, and kept his cell so spotless it looked ready for surgery. He polished his toilet until it worked like a mirror, and the floor was clean enough to walk barefoot without picking up a speck of dirt. Even veteran officers who had seen hundreds of clean cells said they'd never seen anything like his.
Wow.
Ironically, he was never this disciplined on the outside. It was inside that he finally felt like he had control over something, even if it was just a few square feet.
And you know the sad part about it, I say this all the time, a lot of guys in prison, man, have absolutely nothing. Nowhere to stay. They'll go to a halfway house or something. In prisons, they got their own, little area, piece of property, I guess you could say, to keep nice and clean and tidied up. And guess what? The majority of inmates in there are just as broke as you. Chances are you got a good hustle game, and you were poor on the streets, but in prison, you're richer than most. This is how people get used to the penitentiary and keep on going back. So it's always good to see someone keeping clean in prison, but like I said, this is just a little too much. And it would make me question a lot about the individual. Next up, we got this young buck here, man. He's on the phone with family, and homeboy rolls up on him saying, "You still owe me the lunch." Dude's having tunnel vision right now. Can't believe he's getting ran down on while he's talking to his mama. But that's how it goes, if you owe a lunch, man, lunch tray's coming in. A friendly reminder don't hurt.
You know you still owe me the lunch, the sandwiches, right? You know that, right? But you owe me the sandwiches, and you owe him the cookies. So when you grab that joint, just send it to me.
All right, thank you for letting me know.
All right, letting you know.
Damn, 21-year-old John Carlo getting ran down for his sandwiches and cookies. Sad day, ain't it? It's jail though, commit the crime, you gotta do the time. But John Carlo here, man, he stood his ground. He didn't hang that phone up. He wanted everyone on that line to hear every last drop of it. That's his plan from the beginning.
John Carlo Esquimia was locked up for allegedly stealing a car, his first time ever in jail. At first, he still had hope. Maybe his family could scrape together enough money to bail him out. There, he caught the attention of a hardened inmate named Charles Robinson. This guy had his own rule. Every new inmate had to pay tribute by giving up food. One day, while Esquimia was on the phone with his family, Robinson straight up walked over, on camera, and demanded his lunch tray. In front of guards, in front of the crew, he just did it. Everyone was stunned. Nobody pulled.
Ah, poor Carlos. Looks like he's still eating it. Oh, wait, is he handing the sandwich over?
Pulls that kind of stunt with cameras rolling. Robinson didn't care. He even said if Esquimia didn't give it up, he'd make it physical. That night, Esquimia's family finally made a decision. They bailed him out. During that very phone call, when Robinson came up again demanding sandwiches, his family heard everything through the line. Minutes later, they showed up to post bail. In the end, it was that bully.
Carlos won in the end. I don't even think he gave him the cookies and sandwiches. He ate that jank on his way out, man. Damn, Carlos. Who got played here? Not this guy, that's for damn sure.
The same guy who tried to push him around, who accidentally got him out.
You know you still owe me the lunch, the sandwiches, right? You know that, right? But you owe me the sandwiches, and you owe him the cookies. So when you grab that joint, just send it to me.
All right, thank you for letting
He don't care, man. He don't care. Like I said, this was his plan. He's free now. But all jokes aside, homeboy rolling up on him while he's on the phone with his loved ones is very disrespectful. Talking about him owing you a lunch tray, making him look weak. Many guys, if they're built like that, they ain't gonna stand for it. They're gonna take flight immediately. Phone to the dome. I've seen it so many times. But if you're not built like that, like John Juan here, if I'm judging a book by its cover, you probably want to do what he did. Thank him and say, "I appreciate you letting me know." Next up, it seems like a cellmate stole this guy's cookies while he was asleep. Man, oh man, I've had a cellie steal from me one time, and I didn't even know who did it, but I kind of thought it could have been him. Long story short, it was over a phone card. I went to go, use the phone and put in the number for the card, and all the minutes were used, but I never turned on the card to begin with, so that means someone had to have activated it. But it was in the hiding spot where it's always supposed to be, where I thought nobody could possibly ever find it. Well, my cellie, turns out, while I was sleeping or away from the cell, went through all my found that card, took the code for himself, and ran it up without me even knowing. I had multiple cards, so I didn't know until I got to it. Either way, I put a request form in to commissary, tell them they gave me a dead card. They did a little investigation and found out my cellmate actually was the one who used it all up, man. And he registered his number into the card. That's how they found out who it was. And like I said, I didn't think it was him. I thought possibly before anything it was just, a defective card. Never trust a cellie and always go with your intuition and gut. Because that was my first thought, man. Was it my cellie? And like I said, this is a prime example.
He had stole my cookies while I was asleep.
I didn't take his cookies. I've never taken his cookies. And I told him, look, I didn't take your cookies. I don't care about the cookies. Like, they're two small little cow cookies. Like, why am I steal some cookies for? Something that petty?
Inmate Jared Falk accused Cole of swiping his tiny jail cookies. He says that 2 weeks earlier, while he was knocked out asleep, those cookies disappeared, and he'd been stewing about it ever since.
Yeah, I would be too, because you know what? 2 little baby jail cookies, it doesn't matter. They don't grow legs and walk the fuck out, do they? Hell no, someone ate them things if you didn't. I know it, and he knows it. And second of all, did you hear his cellmate? He went into a paragraph on why he would never dare take these cookies and how it's so petty.
And I told him, look, I didn't take your cookies. I don't care about the cookies. Like, they're two small little cow cookies. Like, why am I steal some cookies for? Something that petty?
If you gotta break down a spiel on why you didn't take it, chances are you definitely took it. That's just my 2 cents running into liars my whole damn life. But his cellmate's stewing about it, man. He knows he stole those damn cookies, but he can't prove it. What to do in a situation like that, man? That's all up to the eyes of the beholder.
So he finally swung first to settle it. The move backfired.
No.
He got hit with 20 days in segregation, but he still claims he wasn't in the wrong. Falk blames the whole incident on Cole's reputation. To a lot of inmates, Cole is the guy who's always hungry, always asking around, always waiting for scraps. Basically the tray monster.
This dude's got a seagull as a cellie. The pods named him the Tray Monster. If I were to guess, it's because he eats all the scraps off of everybody's tray. Caw! Caw! That's the sounds we used to hit him with when they pecked through the trash can. All in fun, though. You know, it's just good laughs. But yeah, the Tray Monster definitely stole Homeboy's cookies for sure. Reputation like that.
If someone leaves mashed potatoes or a chunk of their entree, he's right there to take it. But Cole doesn't act embarrassed at all. He calls it taking opportunities, insisting it's not begging. It's just making use of whatever people don't want.
I don't like violence, but you know, I can see exactly why Homeboy swung on him, man, for sure. Alright, so, you know, there's a lot of prison channels out there, you know, telling people what they should and shouldn't do when they get locked up, if they ever get locked up. This one, though, unless you're like a barber or something, should definitely be something you never do in prison. Or, you know, if you're very close friends, you know, that could be a possibility. Me personally, though, never. It don't matter who you are. I ain't doing it. Someone see this, they're gonna get the wrong interpretations.
The day almost over for me. Mason, come hold this in the back for me, please.
Oh,
Tie your hair down so it can stay down and kind of keeping it neat together for tomorrow and everything.
Brittany doesn't even look at me like this. Honestly, this looks like Bobby in 6th grade seeing his first girlfriend. The resemblance is uncanny. Alright, last but not least, let's just go ahead and wrap it up in the courtroom with a pretty treacherous sentencing. 19-year-old gang member's about to get his boots smoked to a lot of time in a Texas prison.
That the state's first plea bargain offer was 25 years. In other words, in exchange for a plea of guilty from you, the state would recommend to the court that you be sentenced to a term of 25 years in the penitentiary. Was that your understanding?
No, ma'am.
All right. Was that plea recommendation offered to you at any point since you've been incarcerated?
It was recommended to me 20.
I'm asking you if 25 was ever recommended.
No.
All right. Mr. Bruckley?
That was the state's first offer.
The state's first offer was 25. And then you said what?
No.
All right, you wanted 20, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and Mr. Broccoli has communicated to you that the state has reduced their offer and they've agreed to recommend to the court that you be sentenced to 20 years. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you said that you wanted 17, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Is the state going to offer 17?
No, Your Honor.
Is the state offering 17 today?
No.
Is the state going to offer 17 at
Never.
any time, ever?
No.
Okay. So that means that you can accept the 20 years or we can set this case for trial.
I'm willing to accept the 20 today.
Oh man, he accepted the 20, but you can't blame him for pushing for 17. I would have said, how about we make a deal called probation? Ever heard of that? Shoot my shot all the way to the stars. But I gotta go, ladies and gentlemen. My kids just got off the bus. I heard them run in the house. You know what that means? I'm hungry. I need a snack. Can we go to Sephora? Target? Five Below? It's gonna be 500 below by the end of the day. Tell you what, man, these girls are money pits. But I love it. What else would I spend my money on? A golf cart, go-kart, something like that, you know? It's getting kind of hot in here too, man. The temperature's been fluctuating over here in East Tennessee, man. It'll be really cold and really hot. Either way, until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new and enjoyed, you know the drill. Just like any other channel, go ahead and tap that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave. And more importantly than anything, y'all be easy, be safe, and stay free.